With continuous successful releases from VSONIC in the form of the GR07s, the VSD1S, and the VSONIC VSD3S recently, it should come to no surprise that when VSONIC announced the release of the VSONIC VSD5 earphones, that it's going to get a lot of expectations and a lot of attention because VSONIC had boldly claimed that these VSD5s was tuned to emulate the Sony EX1000, which is a flagship Sony earphone that is actually now discontinued, but it originally had a street price of $500. Now I got these earphones actually as a trade with another one of my viewers actually, so thanks very much, Don. But these earphones are about retail for about $60 to about $70 on various other websites, and I'm going to leave the links in the description below on where you can purchase these earphones, find out more information and threads about them. But I'm also going to leave a link to my full written review on these guys over on Headfi, which is more comprehensive and it gives you a better picture of basically the entire earphone itself. Taking a look at the design of the VSD5s, as you can see, it has sort of an in-ear monitor design, which is typical of, say, bigger companies from Shure and Westone. The VSD5 here definitely takes on a little bit more of a flare to it. As you can see, when it's tilted against, reflects off the light, you can see that there's curves and it's cut in such a way that it looks sort of like a jewel or sort of a gem, which is quite nice overall. The VSD5s here only come in this sort of smoky kind of tinted color, which is not my favorite. I wish that the VSD5s come with a little bit more color selection. Going into the build quality now. The build quality of the VSD5s overall, I think it's just okay at best because this is has a fixed cable, unlike their little older brothers, the VSD3S, which has a detachable cable. So this is entirely fixed. The cable on the top here, it's not bad overall. I think the cable is okay for the most part, with the exception of the strain release, which is quite lacking on the Y-shaped split here. Has a cable cinch here, so it's quite nice there, but not much strain relief here. Bottom half the cable is not bad, but again, looking at the straight angle jack, you can see that there is no strain relief here at all. There's this really hard plastic bit, which I'm not really sure the purpose of it. But again, it's a straight angle jack, so it does stick out of your pocket more, and I wish that there was a little bit more strain relief here as a whole. So overall, I think that the build quality is just slightly below average. Moving on into comfort, this takes a complete 180 from the build quality because I felt the VSD5s to be a very comfortable pair of earphones. The VSD5s do have a little bit of a larger earpiece, so it might not fit in everybody's ears. For me, however, I felt that the VSD5s are very comfortable and I could easily wear this for many hours at a time with no irritation because the plastic shell that's in contact with the rest of your ear, it's very smooth and there's it doesn't cause any sort of hot spot or any sort of pressure point throughout any of my listening time with them. And also another thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that these earphones are intended to be worn cable up with the cable wrapped around your ear like so, with the use of ear guides. Now I think that the ear guides are actually essential for these earphones because the cable, for me anyway, does not stay in place without the use of ear guides. And I know a lot of people, or some people, did complain that the cable does flop out of the ear guide a little bit too often and it causes a lot of annoyance for them or of some sort. For me anyway, I find that the ear guides, the cable does pop out of the ear guides occasionally. It's not a big deal for me, so this will again depend on your personal preference. Now, moving on into isolation. Now, the VSD5s are a semi-sealed design. There is a single port next to the nozzle here. It's ever so small. It looks like it's been like only a sewing needle can get through it. So in terms of isolation, the isolation on the VSD5s is very good. It's excellent. So I would highly recommend these earphones for someone that's going to be traveling a lot with them, whether you're going to be on the bus, the subway. So really good isolation on the VSD5. In terms of sound, if someone were to ask me to recommend an earphone that is open sort of sound signature, while at the same time having good isolation and also having a price range of under $100, there's not many that I would actually come to mind. Well, the VSD5s really fit that niche because, as mentioned before in the isolation section, this is a semi-vented design, but the isolation is top-notch and it has a sort of open, kind of spacious sound signature. So let's dive right in and find out what I'm really talking about here. Starting from the bass. So from the bass response of these earphones, the bass of the VSD5 is a little bit emphasized. It's a little bit emphasized in the mid bass with good extension in the sub bass. The bass here is a little bit more of a smoother quality. It's well controlled. It's not the fastest bass out there, but it has a good sort of impact without ever going overboard. So the bass here is just ever so slightly over neutral, and I think that the bass here works in particularly very well with acoustic and classical recordings in particular. Now moving on into the mid-range. The mid-range here has a sort of a drier, kind of very clean, sort of a cool, analytical kind of response. So this, in contrast with a lot of consumer earphones or sound signatures under $100, is a really big departure from that. So this is a lot more cleaner, it's a lot more articulate, there's a lot more details that can kind of flesh out of the recordings. Now going into the treble here I think is really the spotlight of the entire sound signature because this is more of a brighter sounding earphone. The VSD5s here have a more emphasized treble section and that kind of takes precedent over the bass and mid-range. Again, very unique. So the VSD5s here have sort of emphasized treble in the sense that the treble here has a lot of detail, a lot of shimmer, a lot of clarity, very clean. There is a little sense of sibilance as with a lot of VSONIC earphones. So I think that if you're treble sensitive, this may not be the earphone for you. But because of the treble resolution of these earphones, I think that the VSD5s really have no business having such a clean sort of overall sound signature at this price range. So I think you're getting a lot of bang for your buck with these VSD5s. Now, the best part of the VSD5s is the sound stage. So the sound stage of these earphones is quite open considering the closed nature or semi-closed nature of these earphones. So everything is spacious, it's open, there's not that sense of congestion that you're going to get with a lot of earphones, especially at this price range. In conclusion, while I'm a little bit disappointed with the build quality of the VSD5s, I think that the other performances really kind of outweigh that, and as long as you're willing to take care of these VSD5s and sort of baby them a little bit, I think that they're a very good option because in terms of performance, these earphones really are right up there with the best or earphones in the $100 to $150 price range, which is a really high praise considering that the VSD5s are like $60 to $70 approximately. Now these VSD5s in terms of sound signature is not going to be for everyone because it has a brighter kind of sound signature and it might not work for those that are a little bit more treble sensitive, but it's very open and spacious. Now I hope you enjoyed that review of the VSONIC VSD5s. If you enjoyed it, hit the like and subscribe button. It'll help me out for sure. If you have any questions, leave me in the comments below. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well, and I'll leave the links to that in the description below. But until then, I will see you guys in the next video.